Alright guys, first fight is Horrible Curses as a Necro versus Bayor as a Guardian. You guys want to type /bow? I will let you know when to start. Curses bows, Bayor bows. Alright guys, have fun. Go ahead and start. So Bayor comes into melee range, starts blasting Horrible Curses, and he is down already to about 60%. But we all know they got Death Shroud, Necro does, so he may be able to. There's his heal. Bayor's got a couple boons up, some might. He's trying to stay inside of his melee range. Curses seems like he's trying to also stay in melee range. He might be in a little bit of trouble. He does fear Bayor off. Bayor is down really, really low. Guards don't have a huge HP pool, and Necros do, so there's definitely that benefit. Curses did throw down a well. Bayor did evade into it. That might hurt him. But he did clear off all the conditions. It seems like he's got all the conditions under control. He's got a bunch of boons up. Curses is blinded with swiftness and is looking really, really in danger here. He's going to have to get something going for himself. But Bayor finishes him down. He's getting ready to stomp. Necro has a lot of great DPS when they're downed, so he might actually be able to do something about that, but Bayor does finish it with a cool finisher. Good fight, Bayor. Good fight, Curses. Bayor is your winner. Alright, next fight's going to be Razorl as an engineer and Euphros as an elementalist. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you guys are ready. It's his fault for having a name that doesn't actually make sense or is ever actually a name in the human language. Any language for that matter. Alright guys, have fun, good luck. Go ahead and start.
Go in.
Razorl's running with an NG as with his rifle. He's probably got a lot of DPS going for him. Euphros looks like he's hauling at least a dagger in the backhand. That might be a scepter or a dagger in his forward hand. It looks like it's dagger. Dagger's a lot of DPS as well, especially if they're built with might. He's staying in melee range, and Razorl's trying to control that. Razorl can go DPS ranged, or he's gonna want to stay in melee. It's up to him how he builds that. Probably got some CC going. He is pushing Euphros around. They're looking about the same in HP there. Euphros is stuck. Razorl's looking around 60% HP. Both these classes have some good heal abilities. And that elite right there is a really big one for the NGs. Euphros is running around with a bunch of boons. He's got stability up, he's got vigor, he's got protection, might stacks. He looks like he's in pretty good position, but he does pop a fire elemental as his elite. He's looking in pretty decent amount of trouble here. And I get netted by Razorl's net turret. We're going to talk about that later. Switches to flamethrower. That's a lot of DPS in close range. Switches back to rifle. Euphros is also at about 50%. This might be one of those long fights. They both look like they have a decent amount of DPS and a good amount of tank. Rock Dog spawns off of Razorl, so that might actually help the balance go into his favor there. Euphros is looking in some trouble here. He's had some bleeds, but he does clear them with the going into water spec there. Razorl's trying to control the arena. It looks like he's trying to stay center, and Euphros is perfectly fine with that. Ellie is very mobile, so it doesn't look like that's too much of a help for him there. Might be one of those long ones. They're both at about 50%. It doesn't look like any of their hits are going to be doing too much to get them all the way down, but there's always that chance. Euphros is getting low. It looks like Rawl's been doing the higher amount of DPS in total. Rawl pops in Elixir S to go to shrink there. It looks like he felt like he was in some trouble, so he can pop his heal. It's back up. He goes stealth, pops a rock dog, and comes back in. Euphros is looking kind of low here. He nets Euphros, goes in, looks like he might be trying to go in for a kill with the flamethrower. He's running around. Looks like he has... Oh, Euphros switches to lightning and just starts using the CC there. And then the lightning whip. Yeah, it looks like they're really, really tanky here. I'm not sure either one of these guys can go down anytime soon. I wish I was looking at the clock when they started. It looks like it was probably about 3 minutes ago. No, and I would not have expected this to be one of those really long fights. But it is. He got to pop his elite once again. Efros is in some trouble here. If he can capitalize there, it'll be up. And he pops his heal there. He goes into water spec. He has regen up. The rock dog is looking kind of lost. We're probably going to have to call this here in about a minute, but it looks like Euphros is in a lot of trouble. If Rawl can capitalize on it, that might just be the end of it here. He's in a lot of trouble. He's probably got only a couple hits left. He's able to survive it going in the water spec. Fate, looks like we're probably at that 5-minute mark.
Alright guys, when we do reach a 5-minute mark, we will be calling a match. It'll be between Bayor, who's our Vice Warlord, Effi Sevrance, who's Raif, and myself to make the call.
Yeah, we're going to have to call here. It looks like it's at that 5-minute mark. Alright guys, you go ahead and stop.
But he's down.
Rawl is down.
Well, that's an interesting turn. We were talking about stopping it there, and I was actually going to stop it a little bit before that, and at that time, Raw was basically in control of the whole thing, but all right, guys.
Rawl would be the winner of that match.
Yep, after careful consideration from the judges, based off of the amount of DPS done by Rawl over the entire match, up until that very end part when we were discussing having to end it due to the 5 minutes. Rawl did have Euphros in a lot more trouble. It seemed like he had control of the match for the most part, so we're going to go ahead and give that victory over to Rawl. So Rawl is the winner. It was a good fight. It was really well played out.
I have to vote for Pottamus. He was one of my original recruits.
Alright guys, so it looks like Pottamus is running in here with his warrior. Ashi's playing as a guardian. They've already typed /bow, so good luck, have fun guys. Go ahead and start. So Pottamus starts off with his ranged rifle there. Bashi's trying to move in. Looks like he's using a scepter torch. Switches over to a two-handed sword. Pottamus is doing a decent amount of damage at range. He has a lot of might stacks up as well. Bashi's already at about 50%. He switches to two-handed hammer, does Pottamus. Bashi's in a lot of trouble, couldn't even pop a heal. That CC is crazy. He does do a pushback, but that's about the only move Guardian can do once they're downed. Warrior's probably going to have to just kind of back up a little bit and just finish it off, just like Pottamus does. And quick fight there. Pottamus is the winner. So we got some grudge matches going on in the background. This can be pretty interesting.
We do.
We have next fight is going to be Cirrus Viligma as a Necro, Vanille Puddin as a Mesmer. Whenever you two are ready, go ahead and type /bow. Vanille bows, Cirrus bows. Alright, good luck guys, have fun. Go ahead and start. So Mesmer automatically throws a bunch of different, one Zerker, a bunch of different clones out. Cirrus is probably aware of the kind of damage those things can do and all the shatter that Vanille's doing right there. Instantly starts off with the Death Shroud. Has a couple confusion stacks on him. Ooh, I'm getting pulled here for some HP. Vanille is in the center of the ring. Moa's Cirrus off that elite shatters on Cirrus, and it looks like he's going to switch over to a melee range to try to finish him off in Moa, but it doesn't work out. Necro has a lot of HP. Cirrus is able to back out of that without any real issues. Switches to his elite form, which is a huge amount of DPS, stability the entire time. It lasts for a little bit. Vanille might be aware of how to play against this, though. It's a really big arena, so for the most part, Mesmer is pretty agile and can probably keep out of it. This elite is useful, very, very useful in PvP, but mostly when trying to deal with points. Vanille has a bunch of clones out still. Necro is doing fine with Death Shroud and at full HP behind that. Vanille's not looking like she's in too much trouble. Interesting enough, it doesn't seem like the Necro with that much HP is really in any danger with that Death Shroud and then the full HP. But once the Death Shroud's down, Mesmer can definitely capitalize on that. And Death Shroud is down. He is taking some hefty DPS there. He does pop his heal. Goes back into a small amount of Death Shroud. Still has some confusion stacks on him. Vanille gets feared away. And Necro does a great job of running in on that. Vanille pushes him away to try to keep the distance. The Vanille is running, it looked like Greatsword there. It actually does more damage at range. It's basically the ranged weapon where any other class using Greatsword is always melee. Farther away Vanille is from Cirrus, the more damage Vanille can do. That's one of the highlights of the Mesmer. Throw a bunch of clones, throw a bunch of things out there at melee range, stay really, really far away and do the highest amount of DPS with most amount of tank, basically, and most amount of protection. Looks like Vanille is circling around, and Cirrus is perfectly fine with that, but it looks like Cirrus is in a lot more trouble here than Vanille is. And it looks like this might be getting really, really close. He's going to want to pop a heal if he doesn't have one. Or if he does have one, rather. It looks like he does try to. Mesmer goes and switches to melee. He's got a bunch of might stacks up, Cirrus does. Vanille as a Mesmer probably doesn't have too much HP, and at the very least it's a light class, light armor class. So, ooh. Shatters onto Cirrus. Cirrus does get downed. Necro has a huge amount of DPS, they can do it down. Vanille is in a lot of trouble there for a moment. Might actually be able to get knocked down here off this well. No, Vanille does finish it off with a rabbit finisher. Good fight, guys.
Awesome fight.
Next fight is going to be Agathoo as a warrior and Core Red as a Mesmer. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you guys are ready. Agathoo bows. Core Red is bowing. Alright, good luck. Have fun, guys. Go ahead and start. So Agathoo rushes in with his two-handed sword. Core Red immediately evades it. Has his clones out, shattering on Agathoo. Agathoo looks like he's in a lot of trouble already. He's dropping below 50%. Doesn't look like he has his heal popped. He does pop it there. Core Red does have control of the arena. He does get knocked down by Agathoo. Core's HP is looking pretty comfortable there. Agathoo is not looking so comfortable. He did just recently pop his health. So So I don't know how long he's going to be able to take on the barrage that Core Red has built his Mesmer to be able to do. And he does drop Agathoo fairly quickly here. Going for the Stomp, Ward does have a couple things that are pretty annoying in the down state. That hammer being one. But he does get that finish off there. Core Red does win the Rabbit finisher. Alright, good job. So, Dragon is a Guardian, Lutherus, Necro. It's type/bow when you're ready, and I'll go ahead and say when to start. Pool of minions just ran around in the background. Alright, good luck guys, have fun. Go ahead and start. The Dragon does run in as quickly as he can there to try to close the distance with his two-handed weapon. Lutherus goes into his elite form. Looks like he's going to try to manage to do as much DPS as he can in that elite. It does have a lot of DPS, so they both want to stay in melee at this point with those weapon choices in that elite. Rock Dog does pop off Dragon, so he's going to have a little bit of help off of that. Lutherus might be in a little trouble if he stays in melee range right now. His Death Shroud is worn down. Dragon's doing a great job of keeping the pressure on. Dragon's health is looking perfectly fine. Lutherus is around 50%. Dragon's Rock Dog is looking terrible, and he dies. Lutherus is in Death Shroud again. He's looking like he's going to be in a lot of trouble here if he doesn't pop either a heal or gain a little bit of control of the arena here. No Fear pops off for him. Dragon does put him down, goes for a stomp, and he does finish it off. Dragon is the winner.
Good match, Dragon.
Alright, so we got Ashanti over here. Ashanti playing as a ranger, not a necro. And she has her Devourer out. Yay for her. Element of Fate is coming in as an Ellie. Right? Devourer has tanky. Alright, so go ahead, type/bow whenever you're ready. Ashanti bows, Fate bows. Alright guys, good luck, have fun. Go ahead and start. Fate rushes in her lightning form there, and looks like he was accidentally hitting a flesh golem, completely not in the fight. Ashanti switches to melee range. It looks like a sword dagger. Puts on a handful of conditions. The Devourer has control of the arena, which is kind of useless probably, but whatever. Fate is at about 50%. Look like she's in her air attunement. She's dropping down a little quickly there, tries to rush in, doesn't follow up with the knockback either, but she does pop her elite form. This could be some trouble for Ashanti, but Fate doesn't have much HP left. Doesn't look like Ashanti has a ranged weapon equipped. Oh, she does. She's going for the axe. Fate has almost no health left. Ashanti's going for the stomp. And she stomps with a snowman finisher. Happy holidays to everyone. Ashanti's the winner.
Good fight, good fight.
Raif versus Zemni, or Effi Sevrance, I should say. Bow to each other. Zemni bows. Effi bows. And fight. So we got an Elementalist versus Engineer.
Uh-oh, my bone feet!
And we have interference from the audience.
That bone feed's been finding a non-reaction since my fight.
Okay, looks like both are pretty evenly matched. Zemni's a little lower on the health here, running around. Effi is doing really good job, kind of tanky. He's got, full health again. Zemni, really halfway on health, running around, switches to Earth Spec, and Effi still at full health. Zemni really low at the moment. Oh, Zemni is down. Effi pushes him back, and Zemni comes up with a quick, ability that I don't know. But he's back down again, and Effi Sevrance wins the fight with a big stomp.
Good fight.
With much interference from the audience.
Lithia, we're gonna have a chat about that. We're gonna have a chat about that later. Get your minion down here and break my stuff. Alright, so next match is Cinder the Fearless as a warrior and Kesser as a ranger. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Cinder bows. Kesser bows. Alright, go ahead and start. Have fun, guys. So Kesser completely disappears. I have no idea where he is. There he is. Using the that new stealth that was added to Ranger. Cinder went to melee as soon as the battle started, but since Kesser disappeared, didn't have any clue of where to go. Ended up smacking the Devourer a bit in boredom. Kesser puts down a little healing well for himself. Cinder's looking at about 50%, has stability pop though, and Kesser's looks like he has a lot of confusion stacks on him. Tries to put down that AoE attack. They're both looking at about 50%, but Kesser has a lot of confusion still on him, and his HP is draining every time he does anything. He has a bleed stack on him. I'm getting you resume active play. Devourer is sitting there pretending to be useful. And Cinder is a little low on HP. Cinder might actually go down here. Devourer might be doing the job it's supposed to be doing. Oh, Cinder's got like less than 1%. So and then drops after stomping Kesser. Cinder is technically the winner, having been the last to die.
Good fight.
Alright, good fight, guys.
Good job, guys.
Next fight is Horrible Curses with his Flesh Golem as a Necro, and Euphros as an Ellie. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you guys are ready. Curses bows. Euphros bows. Alright, good luck, guys. Have fun. Go ahead and start. Looks like both of them don't want to really jump in there, so it looks like it might be kind of ranged, and then Euphros does come in. He's playing dagger, I believe, still. Horrible Curses. Looks like it's a scepter and a something. They're both getting a little bit close to that 50% mark. Flesh Golem misses the knockdown there. Euphros switches to water and starts healing himself up off of that auto attack and the other skills there. Looks like he has the trait set up where when he evades, he actually pops a little bit of heal off of it. Switch to Earth, and in Earth he's able to do some CC and gain a little protection on himself there. Gain a couple bleed stacks off of that auto attack. I really don't like that resume active play thing, and I keep getting it. So Euphros is getting pretty low, does get a little bit of water back up. Curses is sitting at comfortable over 50%. I don't know that Curses had to pop his heal yet, so I don't know how much danger he's really in. Ice Elemental pops up as might be the elite form there for Euphros. It's kind of a heal tactic there, as far as I know. Ice Golem does some heal for him. Curses is looking really, really low, actually. Wasn't expecting that. And Curses goes down. Euphros, as an Ellie, goes to stomp. And does get feared away. He's able to come back, has a lot of heal spec there. It doesn't look like he's going to be in any sort of trouble from Necro's down ability. Does get a stomp off on Curses with the rabbit finisher.
Good fight.
Good fight, man.
Good match.
Alright, guys. Next fight is going to be Agathoo as a warrior and Cirrus Viligma as a Necro. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Agathoo bows.
I am so representing the swarm.
Cirrus, did you bow? I wasn't actually, my eyes were glanced downward.
Yeah,
okay, sweet. So they both bowed. If you're lying, I have it on video. And good luck, guys. Go ahead and start. Alright, so Agathoo jumped the gun a little bit, but Cirrus is right on that as well. Agathoo has a lot of bleed stacks, some Torment, Weakness, Feared. 10,000 different things, and wow, Necro's burst is ridiculous. Agathoo drops and is knocked down with that warrior downed ability there. Decides to go for the heal, but that's probably going to give Agathoo a chance to pop back up, and he does. Goes right back to the rifle. Using the vengeance, he's going to be alive for the next couple of seconds here. And Cirrus does a smart move, just pops into his elite, just buys himself those couple seconds time, and there's literally no chance that Necro's going to get downed within 5 seconds. And that's there's that. Cirrus is the winner. Alright guys, next fight is Lutherus as a Necro versus Element of Fate as an Ellie. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Lutherus bows, Fate bows. Alright, good luck, have fun guys, go ahead and start. So Fate switches it up here, it looks like she's using a Scepter Dagger. She starts off with the Fire attunement. Lutherus does take some decent damage from that Fire attunement. See if she's running the Might stacks, and she's not running Might stacks off of that. She has Arcane Shield up. Lutherus switches over to Elite form. Running Plague. He has Stability up and Swiftness. Fate is doing the smart thing there and trying to stay out of that area. She has Poison and Weakness, and a couple of things keep popping on her. With the Plague, that just ends up happening. Certain conditions pop up when touched. Fate goes ahead and switches over to her Elite form now that Lutherus is over. That does leave Ellie in a lot of vulnerability there. She's able to kick people around in that form. It's a really great thing for PvP off of points. And here she's able to survive that Elite form. Lutherus did back out, not really sure of how to play against it. She misforms here. Looks like she might be a misform on 25%. And she's in some trouble here. Lutherus is getting pretty low as well. Fate does pop a heal.
I feel good.
She switches back over to her Fire attunement. That's basically the highest DPS that a person can use aside from the Air attunement, depending on how you spec yourself. She's sitting slightly comfortable, maybe at about 30%. Lutherus is running around 50%. He has a bunch of might, 10 stacks of it. She is using that Fire attunement to her benefit. It does good DPS there. She's still sitting around 50%. If Lutherus and Fate go on past that 5-minute mark, that's going to be pretty surprising. Ellie's doing a lot better in this tournament than I would have expected, especially against the strong opponents that are going up against.
It's burning me.
Definitely using the entire arena. Fate is looking really low here. Lutherus is able to drop her there. Those 10 stacks of might looks like they never went away. And Lutherus does get that stomp off. Lutherus is the winner.
Sorry, great leader.
That's okay, good fight.
Alright, so next fight is going to be Ashi as a Guardian and Kesser as a Ranger. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Kesser bows. Ashi stands there. And now he bows, all elegant like. Alright, good luck, have fun guys, go ahead and start. So they both rush in, looks like they're meeting in the center, and then Kesser decides, I don't want him here, and knocks him back, throws a bunch of bleed stacks, lots of vulnerability. Throws a trap onto Bosch, and starts using that crazy AoE damage that the Rangers can do. Bosch looks like he was kind of just standing there for a second, it might be some computer issues. And I actually lagged for a second there, that was weird. Bashi's at about a little bit less than 50%, somewhere around 30% is dropping and dropping and dropping. Lots of boons up. Kesser, I think he may have just interrupted that heal by pushing him back like that, and does drop Ashi. Waits for the guard down ability to go off so he doesn't have to worry about that, then goes in for the stomp and does get that stomp off. Kesser is the winner. Our next fight is going to be Razorl as an engineer and Bayor as a guardian. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready.
Bayor is a titan.
Bayor is a titan. Razorl in his wonderful looking dapper uniform does bow. Bayor bows. Alright, good luck, have fun, guys. Go ahead and start. As Raul is emoting something like a yell or something, Bayor runs in on him and does get some damage off on Raul there. He throws an immobilize on him. He's doing a lot of DPS really quick. Doesn't look like Raul's going to be able to do much. Oh, I thought he was going to be able to pop his heal there, but that was like an instantaneous drop. And he does have some cool down abilities that are slightly annoying, but he doesn't bother popping off the explosion and gets a Titan-type finisher off. Bayor wins.
Good match.
Alright, so Core Red and Vanille Puddin is the next fight. Core Red Mesmer, Vanille Puddin Mesmer. I didn't plan that, but yay for funsies. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Dragon wants you guys to stand up at some point. Let's make it easier to... I'll zoom in a little bit. There you go. Tiny people. Alright, good luck, guys. Have fun. Go ahead and start. So both of them using Mesmer, they're going to probably have similar builds. There's only certain builds that work really well for Mesmer. Well, actually, there's a handful, but in a dueling kind of match, it looks like a stray rock dog is doing its best to be annoying.
I'm running across the map. Trying to get him.
So, Core Red doesn't look like he's taking any real damage. Vanilla's taking a handful of more damage. Looks like a slight heal went off for Vanilla there. Core's now taking some damage. They're both... now actually Vanilla gets mowed there. Core's using the opportunity to get some range so he can do a little bit more damage, let his illusions and his clones do the DPS for him while he's staying safe. Vanilla was stuck inside of a well there. I'm not sure what that thing's called, so I'm going to say well. So, rushing in, shattering on Vanilla. Vanilla is at range with the greatsword, so able to do higher DPS, and is using the shatter over there, switches over to melee. Core disappears, and pops up out of nowhere over to the side there. Vanilla has an idea of where he's at. Vanilla's looking really, really low here, looking about 30-40%. Core's popping all around, all over the place. I haven't seen his portaling back and forth thing happen yet, so I'm waiting on that. I'm kind of a fan. Vanilla's getting pretty low there, has some confusion stacks, a little bit of bleed. If there's a heal there, she's really going to want to pop that. Core Red's looking at full health, roughly. Nope, just kidding. That was a clone, looking at about 30% himself. Also has some confusion stacks. Vanilla's in some real danger here. Core disappears again. Vanilla pops a heal. So a little bit of survivability left. This fight is going to keep going. This is going to be typical of a Mesmer fight, though. They're going to be popping in and out of sight, letting their shatters and their clones and their illusions do all that damage. They're going to stay at range, except to want to switch for melee. Usually they switch to melee. There's an evasion built into that attack that they like to do. So they'll shatter on a person, immediately switch to melee, teleport in, and do their high DPS melee with evasion built in so that they don't take any damage, but they can put a bunch out. So it's basically a nice burst setup. Core's hopping around all over the place, CC's Vanilla back, throws some confusion stacks on her. She's looking really low, but so is Core Red. Core disappears, and Vanilla looks a little bit lost at where he is. But she might be attacking the right person, and I think she is there, getting really, really low again. She does go down. Core Red is able to drop her. It looks like he's playing it a little bit smart here, stomping the absolutely wrong person. But finally gets the right one off there, and is sitting at about 20%. Good fight, guys.
Good fight. Good fight.
Good match.
Good job.
And bows for fun. So next fight is going to be Ashanti versus Dragoness. Ashanti Ranger, Dragoness as a Guardian. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Ashanti bows. Dragon bows. Alright, good luck, have fun, guys. Go ahead and start. Dragon does his typical rush in there. Likes to stay in that melee range, do all the DPS he possibly can instantaneously. And Ashanti is running around, getting a lot of agility going with her sword dagger. Basically the hallmark of the sword dagger for the ranger. Being able to add a bunch of conditions. And she's looking about 75%. Dragon's about 50%. A couple of bleed stacks on him. He does have regen, a bunch of mind protection up though. Ashanti's looking at with some burn, some regen. Dragon's Rock Dog is 100%. There's a Juvenile Devourer over here for Ashanti attacking Dragon from range. Looks like she switched to her ranged weapon setup. I think that's an axe and something. Not sure what this something is. Might be dagger. I'm not sure. Switches back to sword dagger. 2 axes? Okay, so that's 2 axes. Thanks, crew.
Need some healing here.
Little input from the champion. Will the champion be dethroned? Find out later. So they're both looking pretty low, about 30-40%. Dragon's doing a little bit better in the HP there. Has a couple of boons up. Ashanti's got her regen and her protection going. Devourer is resetting itself in the middle of the arena. Ashanti's looking in some trouble here. She may want to have to back up and then pop some heal or something. Dragon is closing that distance down, trying to make sure that she's not able to get that heal off. Looks like he rings her in, drops her. Dragon's comfortable sitting there with about 50% to be able to get that stomp off with no real issues. And goes for the stomp. And finishes her off with a really cool assassin finisher. And Dragoness is the winner.
Yay!
Good fight.
Good job.
Good fight, guys.
Good fight, guys.
Good fight.
Zoo. A creepy zoo. I have a creepy zoo.
I would pay more money to watch this zoo than go to another zoo. So Lithia is here as a Necro.
It is a menagerie.
A menagerie of weird zoo-like animals following her. Pottamus Max is coming in as a warrior. So as soon as you guys type /bow, I'll let you know when to start.
She's got her
Okay.
very own Zerg there.
She does have a Zerg. The real type Zerg too. So yeah, so they both bowed, and go ahead and start. Have fun. Lithia rushes in with her 47,000 mobs there following her, and all of them are not liking Pottamus at the moment. Lithia is doing fine with HP. Pottamus is looking pretty low there already, but no heal popped yet. And a warrior got feared away. She's in her death shroud. She looks perfectly fine here. Pottamus is taking a hefty amount of damage, dropping below 50%, has a bunch of boons, regen, etc. But all these conditions are getting stacked on really, really hefty. That torment is going to kill him if he keeps walking around, and it does. Pottamus does go down here. He does knock her down, and she immediately goes for the stomp. I don't know if he's going to be able to get vengeance off, and he doesn't. I don't think he actually tried to. Lithia does get that stomp off.
I'm the winner! Thank you. Good fight.
Dear gosh.
What?
Alright, good fight.
Yeah, alright, you two bow to each other. Bow to the sensei. Yeah, sorry.
Find him.
Yeah, get ready. And 1, 2, 3, go.
Protected.
And Cinder charges in, and she's doing a lovely death spin. Effi's on the ropes, running from Cinder. Both of them seem to be currently neck and neck. Cinder, slightly going down farther. The flame turret is taking her down. Effi is pressing the charge. Oh, Effi is dodging under 40, 30, 20%. Cinder, 30%. Neck and neck. Who is going to win? Cinder 10, 5.
I am.
Oh, Cinder is on the ground.
Cinder, Cinder.
Getting up from this one. Nope, the champ. It's the 10 count. The champ is out. Cinder is down.
Good
Raif is
fight,
now
good
your
fight.
commentator. It's not a fake British accent. It's an old boxing announcer accent.
Seriously, get it right.
Sounds like Howard Coast.
Totally obvious. Alright, so next fight is Roald as his engineer and Cirrus Veligma as a Necro. Whenever you guys are ready, go ahead and type /bow. Rawl being all dapper-like goes as bows, Cirrus bows. Alright, good luck, have fun, guys. Go ahead and start.
Meow.
So Rawl is still running with the with that rifle. Still is probably a lot of DPS and a lot of CC, unless it's still that tank build he had before. Cirrus is already looking at about 50%. As a Necro, you still have that Death Shroud, but it really depends on how you end up speccing. If it's something that you spec into or it's not. Obviously, he's not running minions, or else he'd have a slew of them already. He has his Elite popped here. It's probably the Plague still, and it is. And Rawl's actually looking like he's in a little bit of trouble there from that Plague. Rockdog does pop off of that from his rune set there. Drops his Elite on top of Cirrus to immobilize and throw down his healing turret, flame turret, and net turret that pop with it. He has a bunch of healing packs that he can pick up there that really help out a lot when NG is in some problem, some danger. So he can go ahead and pick up all these little healing packs when he feels like he needs to. He still has his heal, and he still has that healing turret. Cirrus is looking really low here. Is immobilized, poisoned, and has some bleed stacks. Pops that 10 stack of might. He was able to keep up that last fight, I believe, for all that time. And oh, it switches back around, and they're both down. Now, Rawl is sitting in the middle of his Elite, so he has that flame turret that can definitely help him do a little bit of DPS there. So he might be able to out DPS Necro's downed ability, but it's going to be really close. Necro downed ability is really strong. And it looks like he throws the well on top of Rawl. They're neck and neck. Rawl's getting his Rock Dog. Oh, and it goes right down to about one hit each. And Rawl goes down first. Cirrus is the winner.
Wow.
Wow, that fight.
Wow.
Alright guys, next fight is going to be Vanilla Puddin as a Mesmer and Euphros as an Ellie. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Alright, Euphros bows, Vanilla Puddin bows. Alright, have fun, good luck, go ahead and start the stopwatch and go ahead and start the fight. Euphros comes out in Air Attunement, tries a little CC there. Vanilla Puddin does disappear. Only has the one clone out and changes tactics and immediately mows Euphros while at full HP. Euphros is able to get out of that and is sitting around 50%. Vanilla sitting around 60. Vanilla's got a couple stacks of condition there, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too much of a danger. Euphros is in the water attunement. Keep trying to make sure, and now he's popped back over to the air attunement there. He's looking at about 40% health, has a bunch of boons up, ability, regen, vigor, a couple stacks of might. Switches over to the mist so he can take no damage while he's waiting for that heal to probably come back up. His ice elemental is popped there, so he's getting that extra bit from the ice elemental. Still looking really low at about 25%. He's in earth, it looks like, the earth attunement. Probably popped it to try to gain some protection or something. But doesn't look like it's actually stacked up. And ooh, it looked like he was about to drop, but he was able to switch over to water attunement in time to heal. Vanilla's not in any trouble, it looks like. She's able to do really well to kind of back out of the fight and keep herself away from the aim that he's throwing down. Switches over to melee and evades most of that damage in close from Euphros. He's able to knock her down. Looks like he's trying to take out the clones before they shatter on him. Oop, and I just dropped down and I just jumped. That was weird. I'm gonna try to back out here. So Euphros is still looking pretty low. A couple more hits there and probably going to go down, but it was in mist, so it couldn't really take any damage from Vanille. He is able to evade into a heal. Vanille's doing perfectly fine with the HP. It doesn't look like she's in any real trouble. He's in air and does pop the protection off of that attunement. Sitting around 50%. Vanilla looks like he's doing really well with that Mesmer, and it was switching over to the melee when she feels like doing either a little bit extra DPS or evading the melee DPS that Euphros runs in on to do. Regen's up, illusionary swordsman's. Euphros does try to rush in there to do a little bit of damage, but it doesn't look like he has enough damage to be done here to Vanille so far. Able to knock her down from the Earth Attunement. Vanille evades a bit there. He missed and goes back into water to heal himself back up. Pops his heal. Dazed for a moment, but that didn't really do anything. Euphros gets mowed again. That's twice early he's been able to pop during this fight. It's one of those really long ones again. Isn't able to capitalize there. He was probably sitting in water attunement or something, so he was able to keep that regen going. As a bunch of boons get popped up again. And this time he pops out the Fire Elemental Elite to try to help out with that extra DPS. It's basically what that Fire Elemental is going to do. He's going to do a little bit more damage, try to help take the person out. So he's sitting in his Earth Attunement. Thought he was going to go ahead and use that one ability. I forgot the name of it. But yeah, I think he canceled it there.
30 seconds.
Alright, so by stopwatch, we look like we got about 30 seconds left in the fight. Euphros is getting really low. If somebody wants to finish the fight, they're going to have to just go all out here and just cancel whatever defensive tactics they got and just kind of go crazy with it. Or else it's going to be left up to the judges. As it stands, from what I've been looking at, Vanille is definitely the one who's been doing the highest amount of DPS and had control of the fight and hasn't really taken much.
Match time, match time.
Alright, match time over, guys. Go ahead and stop. Looks like Euphros was actually able to do a little bit of damage there in the end, but as far as I'm concerned, from what I watched, it looked like Vanille was able to put on a lot more pressure and keep the fight going in her favor for the entire time.
I agree.
Alright, so we have 3 judges, and that's 2 that have agreed already, so we're going to have to call that fight in favor of Vanille there. So Vanille's the winner. Alright, next fight is going to be Ashanti versus Lutherus. Ashanti Ranger. Lutherus is a Necro. You want to type /bow whenever you're ready. They both bow. Alright, good luck, have fun, go ahead and start. Ashanti goes dual axe there, so Lutherus immediately pops the elite. Looks like he's going to try to do as much damage as he possibly can instantaneously to try to keep the fight really, really quick. That form is a lot of damage and a lot of health. So he pops into his Death Shroud there. Ashanti does throw down a little bit of heal for herself to kind of sit in. She's still sitting in there in her now melee sword dagger. Got a bunch of his jagged horror minions up. Those things don't have a lot of health. They just do a little bit of damage and they're slightly annoying. Ashanti does well to take them out, and her pet here is doing the damage probably for her. Lutherus is getting pretty low, looking about 20%. Ashanti is doing perfectly fine, around 60%. It's probably a sweet spot for her anyway. I don't even know that she popped any of her heals. Lutherus does get into Death Shroud again, so he has all that extra HP going. Ashanti does pull him and try to throw down some DPS from that melee range. Most of that Death Shroud is gone now, and Lutherus has just a shrivel of health left after it's gone, and it is gone. He's able to pop his heal just as his HP was dropping. Ashanti's doing well to keep the pressure on. That Devourer is doing its job as well. Looks like it's kind of just out of the way. Pretty small, but it's probably helping out a lot. She is able to drop Lutherus and does not get feared back and is able to get the stomp off.
I love that finish.
Alright, next fight is Kesser as a ranger, Pottamus as a warrior. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you guys are ready. Pottamus bows, Kesser bows. Alright, have fun, good luck guys, go ahead and start. So Kesser, looks like he was going to rush in, but stays out, switches over to short bow, I believe that is. Has quickness put on him, so he's going to be dishing out a lot of DPS really quickly. Pottamus loses about 25% health. Kesser throws out some AoE damage there, putting on a bunch of bleeds, immobilizes, and basically going to be a way for him to do all that DPS without Pottamus being able to evade out of it or get out of it at all. Didn't look like, I guess he's not running Condi clear because he should have, or he would have probably cleared a bunch of that. He switches over to melee, two-handed hammer. That's a lot of DPS and a lot of CC. Switches back to rifle, but with a rifle against a ranger, that's probably not going to be the best bet. Ranger's probably going to do a lot better at range, depending on the build, of course. Throws out that cripple / bleed attack again, that AoE field from Kesser. They're looking really, really low here. Pottamus decides to switch over to melee, but Kesser does a great job at doing a knockback there with that knockback arrow. Pottamus goes back to melee range. Looks like he's going to try to see if that CC works really well. Now that knockback arrow was used, he's probably thinking, I can smell blood here, and drop him rather. The juvenile wolf comes over and fears Pottamus, I think is where it came from. It looked like Pottamus would have been able to finish the fight right there if that didn't happen. And Kesser goes ahead and stealths out. Pottamus gets knocked down by the creature there. Kesser knocks him back. They're both looking at about roughly the same health. Pottamus switches back to melee. Stealths out, Kesser does. Pottamus looks kind of confused on where the person is and is able to locate. Kesser is just backing up, not really attacking, probably waiting for that heal to get back in, and does pop the heal. Stays in the field and is able to try to get some regen off. Stealthed out a little bit. Pottamus switches over to the rifle. He's doing well to evade the big red ring he's probably seeing on his screen, but I'm not seeing since it's Kesser's and we're on the same team. He does get knocked down there. Kesser's just doing a little bit of that backing out, inching out. Not really able to keep the pressure on at such a low health. Pottamus gets feared and is able to do the damage from range to finish him off. Pops his heal. That's good veteran move there, keeping the heal until the very end. And Pottamus does get the stomp off. Alright, next fight is going to be Bayor Talon as a Guardian and Dragoness as a Guardian. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Dragon bows, Bayor bows. Alright, good luck, have fun, go ahead and start. Weird, that was weird. It looked like they just immediately switched positions on each other. They're probably using the same little shadow steppy thing that they do. I don't play Guardian, so I don't really know what it's called. Dragon does try to ring Bayor in. Bayor is playing with a mace and torch, it looks like. And Dragon is sticking to that two-handed sword. Dragon has a rock dog that's popped here off of the rune set that he's using. He gets immobilized by Bayor, who's doing a decent amount of DPS from mid-range. Dragon is warping all over the place trying to keep up, and it looks like he switched to the same weapon set that Bayor's using. Bayor's taking a lot of damage here, and so is Dragon. They're looking at about roughly the same amount of HP there. Dragon switches back to the two-handed sword.
Come on, hit me. I'll hit back.
Looks like he was going to ring him in, but he may have already popped it. Ooh, Bayor gets a lot of really hard critical hits in. Dragon does do the blowback there, but there's not much anything that guard can do from down position. And Bayor does a huge amount of burst in the end and is the winner with that really cool Titan finisher. Good fight, guys.
Alright, folks, bow to each other. On the right side, we have weighing in at probably a good 1.5 tons, a bunch of necrotic creatures in a player. On the left side, we have one tiny, skinny, little, scrawny little person. And here we go, folks. Start already, I'm getting bored.
That's refreshing.
And they're dancing around in a circle, lots of little monsters throwing things. I don't understand what's going on.
Protected.
Looks like after he's slightly down. Oh no, wait,
Hurts, doesn't it?
Athali is going down fast. She's in the death rope. Oh no, she's popped back up. Effi's down on the ropes. 20%. Is she gonna pull out? Is he gonna pull out? I'm not sure what he is.
Can't move.
I'm a dude.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. I can check.
Alright, he's pretty sure he's a dude. He's pulling. He's back up to 70%, 50%, 40%. Oh wait, Athelia's going down,
No!
and is down for the count. The minions are down. The minions have lost. And Raif is now
nice
your
fight.
commentator.
Good fight. Good match.
Alright, so next fight is going to be Alethia as a Necro and Cirrus of Enigma as a Necro as well. Completely different
There
class
won't be a
builds.
stopwatch this round because I won't be able to pay attention to it.
I'll watch the clock.
I don't know that we're gonna need 1, 2 Necros. Bursty, burst. Okay, go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Alethia bows, Cirrus bows. Alright, good luck, have fun, go ahead and start. So Alethia gets chilled instantaneously from Cirrus's condition build Necro. He fears Alethia away. Her minions are kind of sitting around, chilling for a moment. Switches over to his Plague Elite form, and it looks like he's doing it on purpose to try to take out those extra minions that she has. He is positioned directly on top of her. She is getting a bunch of conditions, but she's doing decently well to not die instantly from that. She switched to her Death Shroud, which might have been a mistake. The Death Shroud disappeared like instantly while he was in his elite form. He fears her away. Her minions are dying really quickly. She is chilled and has a bunch of torment on her. She gets a little bit of regen. Cirrus is in his Death Shroud form and is probably looking great with his own HP, about 50%. They're both kind of just standing there blasting away at each other, and it looks like Alethia may end up dropping pretty soon here unless she gets a heal off, but Cirrus is in a lot of danger too. Oh, look at that change of events. Cirrus goes down, Alethia pops a small heal. She has a bunch of her minions popped back up,
It had a good life.
and she finishes the stomp.
Oh man!
Awesome.
Wow. Good
Nice.
job.
I screwed up my heal.
What
I
happened?
hit the heal button. And then I accidentally rolled, and it lost the heal. I was
saw
like,
that.
no more heal.
Yeah, and then it goes on CD for what, a couple seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next fight is Pottamus Max as a warrior versus Vanille Putin as a mesmer. You can type /bow whenever you're ready.
Say it fast enough, it sounds like Vanilla Putin. Like Putin. Like
Putin.
Vladimir Putin.
It looks like they both bowed there. Alright, good luck, have fun, go ahead and start. So Vanille starts running a little bit, probably just to gain a little bit of range so she can stay out while throwing her clones and illusionary berserkers on him. Pottamus is still using that rifle. It is trying to out DPS at range. Pottamus is taking a little bit of damage there and gets mowed. Warrior has a lot of HP, but depending on the build, he might be kind of glassy, and Vilna might actually be able to do a lot of damage here. He is looking at below 50%, so it looks like he is running something a little bit more glassy, a little bit heavier on DPS. He gets immobilized, has a bunch of boons up though. Vanille isn't able to capitalize on that immobilize, and she does have her illusionary swordman up. Has a bunch of the clones and Zerker up. They're all shattering on him now. He's probably got 4 stacks of confusion there, but they're all gone now. Switches over to melee two-handed hammer. Trying to follow Vanille around, and he's taking out what he can see. Switches back to the rifle. Vanille's doing fine, kind of just keeping range and continuing the pressure that Mesmer's put on, which is really either condition heavy or really bursty, but with something kind of built in the middle, it's going to be just kind of a long haul kind of thing. Doing a little bit of damage here and there, switching back and forth, keeping range, and that's exactly what she's doing. He's looking at about 50%. He has some confusion stacks on him. He has a bunch of might stacks. She is doing really well to keep him confused onto where she actually is. She switched to her melee range, seeing that CC coming in, and went ahead through the evade attack, so she didn't take any of the CC. He's looking really, really low here. Vanille's doing a great job of staying out of his damage range. Pot backed out to try to give himself some room. She didn't follow in there, so he was able to pop a heal off. She knocks him out of the arena bound there. He walks back in. He's still sitting around 50%. Vanille's doing perfectly fine there. She looks like she's sitting comfortable. Couple of confusion stacks on him still. She shatters again. Looks like she switched over to melee. Didn't go in for that melee bit there. Switches back to ranged. He's doing he is getting kind of low. He does well there to pop his heal off. Shatters on Pottamus and goes in for the melee. Switches right back out. He switches over and finally gets that CC off on Vanille. It starts hacking away and is killing off all those little clones there. Finds Vanille. He's doing well to see when the confusion stacks are up too. That's a really important thing when you're fighting against Mesmers. When you see those conditions up, especially the confusion, you're going to need to either back out and or you're going to need to clear it. Kind of just let it go away before you start doing anything, because that's where a lot of that damage comes from Mesmer. It's from yourself, and you don't even realize it because you don't tend to pay attention to it. But those who know will take a look at their own bars there and see the confusion stack pop up and kind of just wait for it to go away before they do much. She's able to get another Moa off. That right there tells me they're probably sitting around 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes or so for the fight. She does much better this time to take that health down. But he is able to pop a really big heal off. She shatters on him, throws those confusion stacks on. He's attacking anyway. He's probably feeling pretty comfortable with the amount of HP he's able to keep up. Got the confusion stacks back on. She's putting pressure on him. I'm not sure when his heal is available there, but I think she's going to try to finish it here. She's a little low on health, and Pottamus is able to pop that heal off. Been pretty even so far, but so far what I've seen really is that Vanille is able to keep her fight going the way that she wanted it. And if we do hit that 5-minute mark, I'm going to need to take that into account, but we may not get there. Vanille's getting kind of low, but Pottamus is really low. She's kind of letting him just back off and not really doing too much. Now she is. She's trying to follow up here. He's trying to turn away and run off to try to get that heal to pop, but she finally does drop him. Right around when that 30-second warning comes up too. She's able to get that rapid finisher off.
10 seconds to go. With 10
nice.
seconds.
With 10 seconds. And she cheers.
Good fight.
Good fight, guys.
Alright guys, step into the ring and take a bow. We got a Mesmer versus an engineer. Core red bows. Raif bows. 3, 2, 1, go. Core red starting off with great sword. Bouncing around, Raif switching to shield, trying to avoid some of those blocks. Gonna be dropping some mines on the fly. Core red popping the staff, trying to get away from the elite that Raif just dropped early in the fight. Core Red's down to about 60%. Raif's at full. Raif asked for it earlier for the portal trick, and it looks like Red just popped it on him. Let's see if he can counter it. Throwing some mines on one portal, locking down one. Red's out and about again with his staff. Raif's hugging his elite as he runs into a couple clones.
This rose has thorns, and here they are.
Red's looking a little chafy as he's down to about 40%. He's kind of hugging 50. Raif's kind of controlling the fight at this point. He's playing with his shield. Switching back to bombs.
Glorious combination of skill.
Red gets a little distance in the fight and he's trying to regen a little bit. Going 007 on Raif. Raif comes back out with pistol shield, trying to get a little condition damage on Red. Switching to bombs again, blowing up the whole arena. Red finally goes down. He's gonna bounce away.
A wonderful combination.
Raif with another heal, and he's gonna finish him off. And winner is Raif.
Good fight.
Couldn't drop your health.
Good fight.
Next fight is
Necro.
the next fight is Alethia as a Necro with her 40,000 minions and Core Red as a Mesmer. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you guys are ready.
With his like million illusions.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I don't like either of those classes. It's so hard to fight the one person they need to fight. Alright, so they both bow, and good luck, have fun. Go ahead and start.
I'm freezing.
So he starts off with looks like a Chaos Field, I believe is what that's called. Anybody want to correct me if I'm wrong on that? I'm pretty sure it's Chaos Field. She's following him around with the minions, and Core took a little bit of damage. Nothing too much.
I'm a mower.
And he mows Alethia, and she's not very happy about it. She probably smells like bird right now, and she's back. She got better. So Alethia's taking some damage. She's using her Death Shroud there to eat that up. She has a bunch of confusion stacks on her, and she is able to clear those before she does too much. Core is taking some damage, about 50%. Alethia is repopping her minions that Core did a great job of taking out before. She has a bajillion different conditions there. And she's burning down. Oh, she is burning down hard there. She throws her Death Shroud out to try to mitigate that, and I'm hoping, or I'm seeing, waiting for that heal, and it doesn't happen. Core does finish her off here, and is going for the stomp. He gets feared off. It looks like he has enough HP to be able to survive it. She throws a well down. He might be in some trouble. Oh, for a second there, I thought he got dropped. And he evades back out, and he's sitting really, really low, but he does finish that stomp off. So Core Red is the winner. Next fight is Vanilla Puddin as a Mesmer versus Core Red as a Mesmer. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Alright, both the super tiny Asurans bow. Go ahead and have fun. Go ahead and start. So Vanilla comes and starts off by pushing him out. She gets mowed right in the very beginning. There's actually a rematch between the two of them, but because they were able to fight their ways through the brackets and get themselves up to one of the last fights here, that just ended up being that they ended up having the same numbers of wins and losses, and so they're fighting against each other to find out who's going to move on. Core disappears, doing his Mesmer thing, and she seemed to have mowed an illusionary warlock. That is an unfortunate use of the Moa. Core's jumping around all over the place. Vanilla's looking at about 50%. This fight started about half a minute ago. Core's doing well to evade a lot of the damage there. He's jumping around, moving about. Vanilla's taking a lot of damage here. She pops a heal, has Vigor up, Core is doing pretty well here. Only a couple of stacks of condition. Vanill's really, really low. She's misformed around, but she does get dropped here. Core goes for a stomp, but isn't canceling it there. Goes for another stomp and finishes off the wrong dude. Vanille is down. He is aware of who the right one is this time. And it looks like he's just going to melee down for a little bit. Maybe a little afraid of the DPS that those illusionaries can do. And then goes in for the stomp on the correct person with a rabbit finisher. And I get shot for the thanks, man. Core's the winner.
Alright guys, we got Raif and Bayor on the next fight. Guardian and Engineer. Go ahead and take a bow, guys. Raif bows. Just waiting on Bayor, and he does. Go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Maybe you'll think twice next time.
Bayor with a quick jump over to Raif. Playing with Scepter and Torch. Torch 5, and Raif's gonna block that. Pop him back to his pistol. Switching to bombs. Bayor's on the floor as Raif goes to grenades. And the shield pistol again. Bayor looking to be in a little bit of trouble. He's popping back to Mace and what is that, Torch? Raif with his elites. Bayor's looking down to about 40% life, popping his heal. Raif's at a steady 80. He's looking pretty good here. Bouncing back and forth between his elite and his bombs. Stacking of mobs on Bayor. Bayor's looking to be in some trouble here. He's mobbed again. Waiting for that heal to come back up. Raif's at full HP. Bayor is down. Raif waiting for that knockback. Trying to avoid it. Gets hit with it. Your winner is Raif.
Good job, Raif.
Good match. Good job.
Nice match.
Alright, so next fight is Core Red as a Mesmer and Ashanti as a Ranger. Clerical error here. Ended up mistaking the buy, and then she got another buy, and that's my bad. She's here. So she types slash bow, Core slash bow. Alright, so they both bowed. Go ahead, have fun, and start. So Ashanti switches, and she's in her ranged form here, her ranged weapon set. 21, 34, 30 seconds when started. She's now mowed. Core is keeping distance, throwing some damage down through. Ooh, she like slid across the room. That was cool. She basically avoided most of the damage while she was in mow form there. I think she's trying to take out the illusions and all the things that are around her. She has burn and bleed and some vulnerability, some cripple. Nothing too serious. She's able to keep her HP up pretty well. Core's got weakness and poison on him and a bunch of boons. He's running around, doing well to stay out of the DPS range that she's trying to put down. Looks like she has a couple of confusion stacks, and that might be working for him pretty well there. She's really low. She's looking at about 25%. She's dazed. He's about to shatter on her and then go in for melee. But she's able to back out of that and heal herself up a bit.
How many ales have I had?
He's disappearing and reappearing. She's got confusion stacks and bleeds. She's looking really, really low here. It looks like that actually knocks those, Core's really low, Ashanti's really low. They're both actually very, very low. She gets her heal off, and Core goes down. He does disappear and move out of the way there. Mesmer's downed abilities are pretty decent. She might actually take some damage here, and she's able to do the finish. She stomps core. Ashanti's the winner.
Congrats.
Alright, next fight is Bayor Talon as a Guardian and Ashanti as a Ranger. Go ahead and type /bow whenever you're ready. Ashanti bows. Bayor bows. Alright, good luck, have fun. Go ahead and start. So Bayor immediately teleports over to Ashanti, get into melee range. She's using her, I'm not sure what that is, but it is dual axe. She's stacking the conditions on weakness and some bleeds. He's taking some damage there. Having fought Bayor, I know that he has a good amount of burst that can happen, that can really take a chunk of HP down really quickly. But she's doing well to evade out and put down her kind of fight. And she drops him instantly, almost instantly. And is able to get the stomp off there.
Good job, Ashanti.
Good fight.
Good
Awesome
job.
stuff.
Alright, here in this next match we have Ashanti and Effi Sevrance battling off. Ashanti is on her, I don't know, let me see, what is it? Ashanti is Ranger. And Effi is on the Engineer. Would you both please bow? Both have bowed. And 3, 2, 1, battle. Effi charges across towards Ashanti. Ashanti has summoned a Spirit Panther thing and is shooting lightning bolts at Effi. Effi is taking extreme damage. Something blows up in the middle. Effi is down to about 75% health. Does pop a heal of sorts. Both are about neck and neck at about 80%. Ashanti does pop another heal. Still fighting each other at a pretty good click here. Nobody is taking too much damage at the moment. Pretty fierce battle. Ashanti is wielding a blade and dagger. Effi has dropped one of her turret packs. Is down to about half health. Ashanti is a whirling dervish attack and is slowly starting to lose health. Effi has popped a heal, is chasing her around. Panther goes flying across the room and is caged with a net. Effi has popped a heal. Ashanti is down to about 75%. They're battling in the middle. The turret's going crazy on the Panther here. Ashanti shoots Effi across the room. Ashanti is about 75% health as well as Effi. They meet again in the middle. A little dodge and go with them. Turret is still working away here. Looks like there's another minion that's been summoned. Ashanti's down to about 75%. Effi at half health. Ashanti does another whirling dervish attack, and that turret is still gone. Oh, Effi's dropped down below 50%. Ashanti is still putting down a lot of damage. There's a Panther in there assisting her. Ashanti is down to about half damage herself. Effi down to about 25. Pops the heal up to about 50. They separate and they meet in the middle again. Effi looks like she could probably use a heal at this point. Unless she does something soon, she might be in some serious trouble. Ashanti's back up to 75%, Effi at 25%. Panther's running around the middle trying to be helpful but not doing a whole lot. Ashanti dodges back and then launches at her foe Effi, who is trying to kite a little bit. Ashanti's swinging away at air, and Effi has dropped down to about 10% health, being chased by the Panther, and she dropped. Ashanti comes in for the kill and completes it. Ashanti is our winner.
Good match.
Okay, with standing records of 5-1 for both Effi and Ashanti, they are rematching to determine who will move on to the next battle against our reigning champion crew. Ashanti and Effi, would you both please bow? you. And beginning in 3, 2, 1, battle. Ashanti powers up and meets Effi in the middle. Blades are swinging. She starts her whirling dervish. Looks like Effi has dropped a bomb and has dodged back. They're both down to about 75 to 80% health. Effi is being chased by that Panther again and down to about 60, 50% health. Looks like Ashanti is wielding her swords again. Now she's moved to a ranged attack. She is stuck in the circle with turrets dropped by Effi. Effi has dropped below 50% down to 40, trying to kite around a little bit and buy herself some time. Ashanti, in the meantime, has dropped to about 50% health, being attacked by range attacks Effi is throwing out. That turret in the middle is still going crazy. There's a lash tail in there. Effi and Ashanti both down to about 50%. Effi tried turning the tide here to bring Ashanti down below 50, and Ashanti pops a heal of sorts, and Effi does the same in reply. Both standing at about 75% health. They meet in the middle.
I'm exposed.
And still at about 50%. Effi and Ashanti meet in the center again. Panther is still in pursuit.
Can't go on for long.
Effi drops below 50% at about 30, 25%. Ashanti is still standing good at 50%. Another whirling dervish attack. And Effi looks to be dodging around, trying to get a better approach here. Slowly healing up to about 40% and dropping back down as Ashanti presses her attack in. There's a lash tail on the field trying to do some damage and be of use. It looks like it may be helping as Effi's dropped down, but Effi drops a heal and powers back up a little bit. Ashanti is right at 50% health again and starts her whirling dervish. Effi looks like he got stuck there for a minute, but then jumps back in. Dropped down to about 25% health and is kind of jumping around trying to avoid some of the ranged attacks that Ashanti has switched over to. A healing turret has been dropped on the field and both are at 50%.
Nothing can bring me down.
Ashanti dodges out, then launches at her foe Effi. Effi is firing on Ashanti with his gun. Both drop down to well below 30% health. It's getting to be pretty close. Looks like Effi pops the heal, and Ashanti looks like she's trying to do the same here. Ashanti is in some terrible need of some healing, and it could get really dangerous for her any minute now. Effi is quickly approaching the same place, and it's pretty neck and neck right now. Ashanti pulls out another swirling dervish and traps Effi in it, and almost takes him out. Effi pops the heal. Ashanti's still pretty low in health, trying to get herself in a better position to heal up. About 10% life, finally drops that heal, and is countering Effi with some ranged attack again.
Defense, then offense.
Ashanti with about 10-15% health, drops another whirling dervish. Looks like Effi gets off and heal of some sort. Health has gone back up to about 80%, and Ashanti has been dropped. Effi is running laps around Ashanti, dropping bombs and such. Makes contact with Ashanti, goes for the kill, and completes. Our winner of this match is Effi.
Good fight.
Good job.
Good fight, guys.
Congratulations.
Right corner, we have Effi Sevrance, the challenger, representing the blue team. And in the left corner, we have Crewy Griffin, representing the red team, our current reigning champion. I want this to be a good, clean fight, no dirty fighting. Expect at all times for both teams to be representing the Swarm in its pride. Champion, challenger, please bow.
Hold on one second. We gotta get Bosh. Can you go to spectator mode? Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
backing
fine
up.
right there.
Alright, we both bow. Good luck, man, by the way.
Yeah, you too, bro.
both the challenger and the champion have bowed. In 3, 2, 1, begin. Krug powers up and charges into the center with Effi, taking initially a ranged approach, and then switches to more melee damage. Effi is dodging and trying to fend off Krug. Krug is currently at about 75% health, Effi at about 90%. Effi has been dropping all kinds of bombs and things, trying to put Krug in his place. Krug is about 50%. Looks like Effi has dropped a healing turret in there as well. Krug's dropping below 50% now, at about 40, and Effi is pressing the attack, dropping to about 50% health himself. Krug standing tall at 20%, still defending himself as best he can, and switches back to ranged and backs off. Looks like Effi has trapped him in a net, and he's at 20%, 10%. Effi pushing the attack, and has dropped him, going in for the kill.
I've been immobilized.
Great match, fellas.
Round one goes to Effi. Alright. Round 2 beginning. Be beginning. With the challenger and current reigning champion, please.
Yep, we just did.
Okay. And in 3, 2, 1, begin. Effi charges up the middle with a ranged attack. Krug comes in, also choosing a ranged approach. Effi's health has dropped to about 75%. Krug pressing in with a melee advance. Effi has dropped a healing turret in the center of the field to try and regain some HP. Still around 50% as Krug continues his advance, switches over to ranged. Effi has dropped several bombs around to try and flush his attack back. Effi's health is still right around 50, has dropped to about 40%. Krug is kind of mopping the floor with Effi at the moment. And switch back to his ranged attack. Effi pops the heal and back up to 75% health. Following some of Krug's attacks, drop back down to 50. And they meet in the center again. Effi drops a bomb, and Krug pursues with his ranged assault. Effi's health has dropped to about 35%. Drops another healing turret to regain some of that lost HP. Dodges away from Krug, who pursues with his melee attack again. Effi seems to be stunned, drops a bomb in the process. Does minimal damage to Krug, whose HP has maintained nearly a full bar. Effi's, again, right around 50%, has not fluctuated from there much. She drops a bomb. Krug continues to press in with his melee attack. Krug has switched to ranged. Effi pops the heal, is back up to nearly full health, and they are on top of each other in melee mode. Effi puts some distance between them and Krug, drops a bomb, health down to about 80%. Krug's HP is still near max. Effi drops some kind of AoE, leaving a path of destruction behind. Health drops to about 50%. Below 40%, still right in front of Krug, who's maintaining his ranged assault. Effi drops a heal, gets some HP back. Krug jumps in with his melee assault, switching back to ranged. Effi's at 50% health, does get dropped for a moment there. Drops a bomb, and does best to put some distance between him and Krug, and then gets stunned, and Krug jumps in with melee. Effi drops down to about 20%, and stunning turn, drops a healing turret. Krug's assault has not relented. Effi picks up some of those healing packs, brings health back up to about 75%. Ranged assault is taking place now, both at about 75% health now. First real damage we've seen to Krug in this round. Effi drops down to about 50. Immediately drops healing turret.
That'll silence you.
2-minute
Crew's
warning.
drop back. Crew's drop back as he's down
10-minute
at
fight.
50% health. And Effi is pushing the fight, trying to keep him busy. Crew presses in with a melee attack, and Effi's health drops to about 75%. It's about neck and neck at this point. Crew switches to ranged. Effi drops the healing turret.
Why won't anyone
Crew's health drops dramatically to about 25%. Slowly raising up to about 30, 40. Effi's sitting at 75% health. It dropped down to 50. Crew is using his ranged weaponry. Drops down to health of about 20%. Down about 10%. Effi is sitting at 50. Trying to buy some time and some distance. Leaps back. Crew has moved back to his ranged assault. Crew does manage to get some healing in, recovers some lost HP. Effi's at 50 still. Switches over to her gun that shoots green stuff. Both are at about 50% health now.
And the fight has just gone 5 minutes.
It's 10-minute fights though for champs.
Oh, 10 minutes? Okay.
Crew drops to just below 50% health. Effi does pop a heal and gets a lot of the health back, about 75%. Crew regains a little bit, is working his way up to about 50%, switches back to range and puts some distance between the two. Effi drops some sort of scatter bomb between them. Health on Effi drops to about 15%. Drops healing turret and comes back up. Crew's on the run now, trying to put distance between himself and Effi. He's at about 25% health. Switches back to melee and presses in on Effi, who seems distracted or stunned. Effi switches back to her green gun and is attacked hard by Crew. Health drops down to about 20 and then drops healing turret. She's back up to about 60%. Crew's still just under 50. Crew's doing a lot of kiting work here, putting distance between himself and Effi, who is dropping a lot of scatter bombs and a lot of other ranged mortar attack. Drops a healing turret to bring himself back up. Crew is at about 30% health. Effi's back up to about 75 after dropping some healing. Crew's still at just below 50%, maintaining his ranged advance. They are exchanging blows back and forth. Crew does drop Effi for a moment. She gets back on her feet. 50% health for both. Healing turret goes down off Effi. Both at about 60% with their health, and the ranged assault continues between the two. Effi drops a turret pack. Crew seems to be stuck in the middle of it and is dodging around trying to get out. Health around 30%. Effi around 75. Effi drops quickly to 50%, drops another healing turret. Crew at about 10%. Effi presses the charge, trying to take him out. Crew does drop Effi on the ground for a moment and gets back up. Effi's health dropped to about 25%, 30%. Crew's health is slowly going back up. He has switched to a melee assault and tries to close the gap. Effi almost gotten taken out. Drops healing pack and starts to heal up again. Crew's at about 25%. They are neck and neck at this point at about 30% health. Effi's starting to trail a little bit on HP. Drops a sticky field and Crew gets stuck in it, and they are dodging back and forth. There's another healing turret from Effi. Both sitting at about 40 to 50% health. And now Crew seems to be on the run here. Crew drops a stun. Effi shakes it off. They're both sitting at about 25% health. Effi drops her sticky goose stun again. Drops a healing turret back up to 50.
2-minute warning.
The stun on Effi. Crew presses the assault with his melee. His health is at about 50. Effi's at about 25, 15. Drops healing, doesn't do a whole lot. Crew continues to press the ranged assault now, trying to close the gap and seal it. Effi drops healing turret, and they're both back up to about 40% health. Crew's health is back up to about 50. Effie trailing a little bit in the HP department. Crew drops Effie with some melee attacks and is chasing her down, trying to get her on the ground.
Not enough endurance.
Our healing turret off of Effie. Ranged battle back and forth in the corner of the arena. Crew running around trying to buy some time to get some health up. Switch to his melee and charges at Effie. Scatter bombs on the ground, push Crew back. Effie's now chasing Crew, drops healing turret, brings her health up above 50%. Crew just trailing at 50. Effie gets stomped on the ground. Crew pressing in with another melee charge. Effie drops another bomb. Effie's health is about 25 to 30%. Crew at about 40. Ranged exchange, another healing turret from Effie. Effie's health back up to about 70%. Crew at about 40. Dodging around trying to avoid some of that AoE that Effie's dropping. Switches back to his melee and dodges around to avoid bombs. Effie's health is about 25 to 30.
It's been 10 minutes in the fight.
Okay.
Alright. Stop here.
That was a really head-to-head battle.
Yeah, I have no idea how to call that. I mean, it was just back and forth, volley after volley. I mean, they were both dropping in health and then gaining it back, and I don't know. It's just...
Alright, final round between the challenger and the current reigning champion. In 3, 2, 1, begin. Effie charges into the center with the ranged attack. Crew got a little bit of a late start. Seems switches to his ranged attack as well. They begin trading blows. Effie's health drops to about 80%. Crew about 90%. Healing turret is down by Effie. Gets stunned a little bit by Crew. Crew goes in with the melee assault. Bomb is dropped. Both standing at about 80% health. Effie drops to about 50% health quickly. Crew's at about 60%. Dodging a little bit to get away, put some distance between them. Crew goes back to his ranged attack as Effie is leaving a path of destruction behind with all kinds of bombs. Crew back on his melee assault, presses into Effie, starts chasing after him. Crew's health back up to about 90%. Effie at about 40, drops a bunch of turrets on the ground for some added support. Crew's health back up to full. Effie at about 40%. Crew goes back to his ranged assault, jumps back in behind Effie, switches quickly to melee. Effie does get off a lot of heals. He regained that HP up to about 80%. Gets dropped to about 70 from Crew's ranged assault. Crew gets stunned by a net. Effie's still sitting at about 60% health. Crew almost full. He does jump back into that ring of turret doom and gets blown back. Takes out the turrets to try and give himself some room to work with here. Effie dodges another attack, drops another healing turret. Doesn't seem like it got off one. Both combatants' health is at about 80%. Crew switches back to his ranged assault. And my camera keeps moving. Effie's health is down to about 60%. Crew presses in with his ranged attack, does a couple dodges to make some room. Now he is pursuing Effie with his bow, does a leap in, stuns Effie, switches to melee. Effie drops healing turret to regain some lost HP, up to about 60%, Crew at about 90. Crew goes to the other side of the arena, still doing plenty of damage with his ranged assault. Effie's health is about half. Crew seems to get stunned for a brief moment. It's exchanged back to Effie, gets stunned. She drops healing turret. The bomb healing turret doesn't seem to have made it. Effie health at about 80%. Crew almost full. Crew being extremely agile as a short of Cirrus is jumping around quite a bit, dodging a lot of the attacks that Effie's been putting out. Still pretty close contact with one another, even though both have been using ranged Crew switches it up, goes to melee, drops Effi's health to about 30%. Effi drops a healing turret again, doesn't seem to really get anywhere. Effi's health gets dropped to about 20%. Crew's back on ranged. Effi does drop a turret, gets back up to about halfway. Crew's back on melee, does stun Effi for a moment. Effi drops a bomb and gets a little bit of distance between the two. Crew's back on ranged. Effi's health is still pretty low here at about 30%. There's another healing turret. Both seem to get stunned for a minute there. Effi shows Crew back with a skill that puts some distance between. Crew's on his ranged assault. Effi manages to dodge a direct attack from Crew, who switches to his melee and is now pursuing Effi across the board. A healing turret goes down, but it doesn't seem to stop the damage that's being done. Effi's health is about 40%, Crew's about 70%.
That'll silence you.
Some turret fields go down from Effi. Both are at about 50%. Crew is maintaining a melee assault. Does switch over to ranged again. Seems to be taking a lot of burning damage from an assault that Effi has been pushing. HP rolls have switched. Crew is now at about 40%. Effi at about 65, 70%. Both are stunned. Release. Effi drops some bombs and water fields there. Crew's health slowly going back up to 50. Effi at about 65%. Crew switches to melee and starts chasing Effi around, disregarding his low health, trying to put some added damage on Effi, who's pushing him back with their ranged assault. Crew dramatically drops to about 15%, 10% health. Is in real danger here, needs to do something for his health. Effi is stunned on the ground, also in danger of losing this match. It's pretty neck and neck right now. Crew gets some distance, switches to ranged, his health slowly going up. Both at about 15% health. Crew seems to be running over some of the bombs that Effi's dropping. And Crew gets dropped. Effi goes in for the kill, leaves a bomb behind on the other side. And Effi seals the deal.
Congratulations.
Good fight.
Congratulations.
A new PvP champion.
All right.